Hi! My hair is so short, right? I cut my hair myself because I just wanted like this particular length. I haven't had short hair since I was in secondary school and I really miss it. I really like it. I think it's very fresh, it's very fun, and you can just like mess the hair up, you know, and it's just like a fun change. But as you can tell from this title, this video is obviously not about my hair. It's about moving out. It's been highly requested ever since I did because it's just such a strange phenomenon. I don't know if you, personal viewer, are living in Singapore or not. If you live in Singapore, you know that it's very rare for anyone my age or even slightly older to move out. You only move out when you get married. That's when you can apply for an HDB, you know, that kind of thing. So I understand all of your confusion. I understand all of your questions. I understand you'll want to know about what happened, the process, how and why I did it. I also asked you guys on Instagram what you would like to know, just in case like when I'm going through my how and why and my story, if I don't cover anything, I can just look at the questions and then reply you straight away. So in the general timeline, I started making videos 3 years ago, the same time I started university, and I was living on campus for 2 years. During that time, I found that I loved living on my own. I loved having my own space. I know I may not seem like it, but I'm someone that really needs peace and quiet. I can't take like excess noise or like too much chaos because my brain is already so chaotic. I really enjoyed being able to get my work done on the weekdays and then go back on the weekends. I had a lot of parcels sent to my house, and so I had to film at my house, which meant that every weekend when I went back, all I was focused on doing was filming. As you can see from like 2 years ago, all the videos are of that purple door, which is my wardrobe, and I found that I couldn't really spend time with my family because I was so busy filming. So it was always like this problem. Also because it's on the weekend, so my brothers will be playing games outside, it'll be noisy, my parents will be talking, and I don't want to like just open my door and be like, guys, please keep quiet, I'm trying to make a video. And it was something that I've kind of just had to grapple with, had to deal with. Not to say that I don't love my family, I absolutely love them, which is why I don't want to open my door and say like, excuse me, please keep quiet. You know, it's so irritating. So in the later half of the second year, I started like bringing my parcels there and started filming in my dorm, so you see more like dorm videos. And then I moved to New York. So while I was in New York, I felt like my best self because I had control of every single decision that I made. What to buy, what to eat, what to clean, just taking care of myself in general. I felt very productive and I felt like a better person even when I made like stupid decisions to buy stupid things, or if I made like a bad call, for example. I can be very responsible for my own actions, and that's what I liked because I never want to have to feel like I'm blaming it on someone else. That kind of sentiment was really strong in me. So by the time I moved back, right, I wasn't staying on campus anymore, and clearly I didn't have my own apartment, not like in New York. So when I went back home, even though like I freaking love my family, I felt like I was demoted from being like an adult to like a child again. You know how like you were growing and you're like 21, 22, and then suddenly you're like 16. I guess with parents, they always believe that like, you know, they're your baby, and for me, I just felt very like I was treated like an adult when it was convenient, and then sometimes I'm treated like a child, or sometimes I don't feel comfortable expressing myself as an adult. And with the added fact that like my room was so full of like childhood stuff, you know, like stuff that like my mom kept for me, and the new stuff from the campus, because I bought a lot of stuff for the room. And then when I came back from New York, I had like three luggages. It was very packed. I don't have a big room, and it was getting to the point where like even with like the ring light, for example, you see there, I had to like dismantle it and assemble it every single time I needed to use it. The tripod as well, just the setup around me. I wanted to try and film in better corners and I couldn't. Even the wardrobe doors, you see, I had to clear the reflection so that like you won't get distracted by how messy or like what's going on in the other side of the room. The prep for it made me so stressed that like I dreaded making the entire video because I know that that was like a necessary part of it, and that really sucked because I loved making videos. So I told myself, I really wish I had my own space. I really wish I had a bigger space to be able to do what I want. And at the same time, I constantly found myself wishing I was back in New York. And then I was like, is it just because I had my own place, or is it because I love New York? It's a bit of both. And so I was like, while I'm still here in Singapore, I had money saved up. So I gave myself like a timeline. I was like, okay, by 2019 October, I'm gonna move out. I graduate at the end of this year, right? So I have at least 9 to 10 months to really work hard and save as much money as possible and then get my own place. I knew from the start that I wasn't gonna buy a house just because I literally cannot afford it, and asking my parents is not an option. When I decided that I wanted to move out and do my own thing, I do not want to be dependent on anyone else. Another thing was like paying off the tuition fee loans, because I have a loan and I want to be able to pay it off myself. So I was like, okay, this sounds like a good plan. And I found myself like really thinking about it every single day. I started jotting down in my bullet journal like all the things that I wanted in a house. You know, I want a big bathroom, I want great natural lighting, I want a good location, blah blah blah. I was kind of like house surfing. I used to do that with Airbnb a lot. Yeah, and then I started doing it for properties in Singapore just for lols, like just to be sure that I know the market rate, I know what's good on the market. Like I was just doing it as a hobby. I had no intention at all of finding a place to move out immediately. But then I stumbled onto this place and I was like, hot damn, this place looks good. Everything about it was really promising. By the way, I found this listing on Carousel. Carousel has like a property tab. I was also looking at, I think, Nestia and 99 Co and Property Guru, but I don't like Property Guru as much because it's just like a very messy interface, and once you open like more than like 3 or 4 tabs, it like times you out. So I was on Carousel just like scrolling and I found this place and I was like, I like this place. So just out of pure curiosity, pure kayponess, had no actual intention of getting this place, I texted and was like, hi, is this available? As you do on Carousel, is this available? So I did that. And then she replied yes, and then she asked me a bunch of questions. I was like, oh, okay girl. But she was like, do you want to view the house? And I was like, I just want to see this house IRL. She said like it was an open house, a bunch of other people are coming to look at the place, so if you want to drop by, drop by. And I was thinking, since I'm leaving for Phuket anyway, I won't be able to view the house, and I was just like, I've got a free day tomorrow, like okay, it's not too far out. So I was like, okay, let's go. And then I came to this place and I fell in love. It was everything that I wanted and a bag of chips. There were a couple of other units that are very similar in the style but just like slightly different, like different configuration, layout, etc. But this particular one was just, it made sense for me. Everything that I thought would have been cool to be in a house, it was just kind of there. And then I started sitting on the bay windows and like I started interacting with the house and I was like, oh god damn it, I love it. And also it's fully furnished, so it was furnished with like vintage furniture, and I was like oh my god, I can't believe it, you know. And because I have been like window shopping for apartments for so long, I knew it was a good deal, and it was freshly renovated. No one's ever lived in it before, so I was like, oh my god, like I want this place so bad. I put in an offer for it. Yeah, a lot of you guys asked me how my parents felt, and I need to like flashback a little bit, because before I came to view this house, like literally just like 3 days before I viewed the house, I told my mom about my plans. And my mom is a very blunt person. She's very honest, and I feel like I get a lot of how blunt I am from her. But basically I was like, Mom, I want to move out. You know, as you can tell, like my room is freaking packed to the brim. I can't do what I want to do, and if I move out, it's gonna be an investment because I'm gonna use that to be more productive. I'm gonna work on my own projects. I'm gonna continue doing the YouTube thing. It's doing well for me. And I kind of like laid out my plans, and I told her like, yeah, I want to earn enough to also pay off my student loans, and that won't happen unless I have my facilities. I have the ease of being able to film a lot of videos, and I have like higher production quality. I basically just like tried to tell her everything that was on my mind, which I don't usually do, because you know, like with parents, you just say as little as possible to be correct. I don't know if you ever have this relationship or not, but I have that relationship with my parents, even though I love them. So my mom, who is usually like the first to shoot me down in anything, she was like, okay. She was really proud of me. And then I started crying because she was just like, yeah, you know, you're young, you need to go out, do your thing in the world, like put yourself out there. You know that like there's always home if you want to come back to, and we'll always be here if you ever need anything. And I just like I think that's why I felt so comfortable putting in the offer, because I knew that she would be okay with it. I mean, I told her the timeline was gonna be next year, but when I finally put in the offer, I went back home and I told her, and I was like showing her the place because I took a video of the place, and she was like, it's so nice, but can you afford it at this point? Because YouTube is such a volatile thing, my income really ranges. I can't even, like when people ask me how much I earn, I'm like, I don't know, because it all depends on like what brands I work with. I told her, and she was like, hi, I thought you were moving next year. And I was like, oh, things change, I really like this place, like I want to show you the place, like it's really nice. And I told her like, I'm not gonna take a single cent from you or my dad. By the way, I'm not just saying that, I'm not taking any money from my parents to be like, oh, look at me, like I'm such a good daughter. No. I wanted to move out. It was my own decision. I have a room in my parents' place that I could live in for free. Because how dare I, as a daughter, inflict this kind of unnecessary expense on my parents who have been working really hard to provide us with everything, you know? It was my selfish decision to move out, and so I should bear all of the costs. So that was my thinking. And to be very honest, I didn't want any of it to bite me in the ass. I don't want them to be like, you know, we had to support you while you were doing your own thing, while you didn't have a job, blah blah blah. So I don't want that at all, and I just wanted to be fully independent. And so my mom just asked, can you do it? You know, if you can, then just go for it. And so I was like, oh my god, okay. So after she said okay, I confirmed with my agent, and then I told my brothers about it, and then I finally told my dad. If you know how Chinese conservative fathers are, you already can picture like his reaction, which is nothing. Initially, he didn't even make eye contact with me. He just like listened to what I said and then just kind of like zoned out. And I think it stems from a place where he felt like he wasn't able to provide for his child anymore. But then I assured him that I needed to make this investment for myself. This is not just gonna be an apartment for me to chill and do absolutely nothing in. I'm actually gonna be working on my projects. I'm actually gonna do that YouTube thing. And he was just like, can you afford it? Because you want to pay back your student loan, right? And I was like, yeah. I'm also gonna cover my own student loans. And then he was like, okay lor, like you got it all figured out. It felt very hostile, like I will be very honest. And I think it's because he felt hurt that I didn't want to stay in the family home anymore. It sucks lah, because like my brother is also going overseas to study, and then my little brother is always away because now he's in JC. So I think maybe for my dad it's just that I was away for 2 years on campus and then in New York, and then I was finally back, and then now I want to move out again. So I guess he was a bit hurt. But then my mom, being my mom, she's like, she's the best. Like she was like my #1 fan, and she was like, let her do her own thing, you know, she's young, let her try. She's only gonna try and do this for like a year, 2 years, you know, she's not gonna be far away, she's still in Singapore, like just let her try. And then she said to my dad, like, you know, your mom always believed that Brenda would go out and do like really great things, so just let her. My dad was like, can't say anything lah. While I was in Phuket, after that I found out that he was actually very worried about the fact that I quit school. I don't know why he would think that, but he thought that I quit school in order to do this full-time, in order to like afford this place. And the truth is, I'm doing very well in school. I'm graduating this semester. So once I told him that, and once I invited my family here to see the place, they are all down with it. And it's been really great because my brothers helped me with the move, and then I had like a housewarming with my family, and I celebrated my mom's birthday, and they all understand why I needed to do what I did, and they can all see it on my face. They can see it in how I behave, how much happier and more like stress-free I am, because I can just film all of these videos and then I can just go back and have dinner with them, or I can like chill out with them. And I like very often invite my little brother to come over. I cook him food, I ask him to bring back food. So it's been very nice to have that distance, so I don't feel like I ever project any of my frustration frustration or my anger or like my lack of patience towards my family that doesn't deserve it, just because I have such a bad habit of being very high-strung and being very impatient with people. So it really has been helping to have my own space, to be able to breathe at my own pace, to work on my things, even though having that full screen TV all to myself it's not good. It came with the apartment, I didn't buy it, but like it's just Netflix has been a thing in my life right now, even more so than it was before. But yeah, it's really great. I get to hang out with my friends, I get to not disturb anyone while I'm doing anything. Being on my own has always been something that I was looking forward to ever since I was a child. I love looking at cookware, diningware, homeware. I love cooking. I even like to clean, especially when I clean up after myself. I don't like to clean up after other people. So everything about the move was a right choice, and every day I wake up, I light up because I'm like, oh, this is my house. So that's my story, and I feel like I should get you better acquainted with this place. I'm definitely going to be doing an apartment tour. I'm going to split it up so that you get a really in-depth view, and because it is completely at my discretion to do it. Before that, I felt very uncomfortable, like, you know, my family and their stuff, it's like privacy issues. But now I just like, everything is mine and everything I have control over, I can show you. And I am very proud of how well I've been taking care of this place by myself. It's not easy because it's way bigger than my room before that and my responsibilities have grown. But this is a one-bedroom apartment. For privacy purposes, I'm not gonna tell you how much I pay. Per month, it is a rental. I have a 1 year's lease, so I'm gonna be staying here for a year at least. I'm not gonna tell you which area it is also because I really don't want any trouble. I know it may seem very daunting and intimidating to anyone that's never done it before, especially because Singapore doesn't have like a renting culture, but renting this place wasn't difficult at all. Like when you have an agent, all you have to do is just pay the agent. If you are renting and the agent is on the landlord side, you don't have to pay, which is what happened to me. Score! From what I know, usually if you have a 1 year's lease, you pay the agent half a month's rent. If you have a 2-year lease, you pay a month's worth of rent. Since this video is going on for really long, I'm going to do a separate video on like what you should look out for when you're renting a place, what are the procedures you want to take note of. I was doing so much research about it just to understand like what I was kind of getting myself into, and I realized that a lot of the rental tip videos were meant for people living in the United States, so I'm gonna do that separately. But yeah, that's my story. That's why I moved out. That's how I moved out, completely almost by accident. It was really like love at first sight. I fell in love. And I'm also very, very excited for what the future holds. I feel like I still haven't invited like a lot of my friends over yet, so that's gonna be happening. When I first moved in, I was like really lonely. I felt really sad because like everything was in boxes and I wasn't used to it. Now that I'm completely settled in, there are no more boxes, it really feels like a home. Like I'm so happy. And I know this video is really, really long. I promise you guys 3 things: an apartment tour, a how to save money kind of like thing, and also the logistical technicalities of renting a place in Singapore. I think it will really help anyone. Even if you're not interested in renting a place, it's still a really good discussion to have. I think like money is always such a weird thing for people to discuss, but I've always been very straight up about it. I am very realistic about my money, and I try to be as smart as I can when it comes to like spending and saving. So that's it. I'm gonna go now. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel. I make new videos every week, and you can also leave your comments down below, your requests down below, more questions if you do. Don't forget to also turn on your notifications to be here when I first make a video. And I will see you guys in my next one. Bye!